Brothers, sisters, and others of all colors, welcome back. Welcome to another YouTube video. This time, I'm outside again, finally, and fortunately, uh, uh, this will last for a significant amount of time, relative to relative to the time of year, because winter is coming. All right. But with that aside, the topic of our video today is awareness and the power of it. Why? Why? And this is furthermore a it's by extension a video on why meditate. Okay. See, like, I'm stuttering, and I recognize that, like, the reason why I'm stuttering is because, like, I'm trying to speak as fluidly as possible and as frequently as possible, but while I do that, like, the thought isn't completely formed in my mind, and I feel like, like, but in my mind, I also kind of, like, notice that habit in other people, and I found it kind of charming, you know? I see it, I see it in that, like, they're passionate about about what they're saying, and at the same, they're passionate enough so that the way that they really want to say what they want to say, but they're also at the same time um, aware and intelligent enough to recognize how that sentence should be formed and the implications of that. So I think that there's a certain charm to that. That's what really pulls me. That's what doesn't disincentivize me from this habit. Even though, like, also stuttering is kind of looked down upon, I personally see it as a sign of intelligence and passion. But anyways, that's sort of that's related to the topic of today's video here. Um, yeah, awareness and what the power of it is, and by extension, how it uh, uh, is, and why meditation is such a powerful tool. The reason why is because meditation is practicing putting things in your awareness rather than just, like, passively moving through life without trying to um, passively just moving through life without any awareness. And there's like I think of it like the thing with, like, the conscious, unconscious incompetence versus, like, unconscious competence thing, where, like, as you move up, you get to, like, conscious incompetence, and then, like, or you go from unconscious incompetent to conscious incompetent to conscious competent to unconscious competence. So, like, you're becoming aware until you become unaware of you go from, like, unaware of being dumb to, like, being unaware of being right, basically. Like, you constantly are just right all the time, and that's related to, like, mastery and shit like that. But that's the power of awareness moves you up through that ladder, and that's why meditation is so powerful. But that's not actually why I recorded that video. It's just some shit that I thought of, like, it's just a connection that I pulled out of those two topics when placed in that specific order. That connection appeared to me. So why did I make this? What's so special about awareness that it sparked me to make a video about it? And it's that awareness puts you above or outside of whatever you are aware of at the time. So, crap. If I was aware of the fact that I was itching, if I had placed more awareness on the fact that my face was itchy, I could have stopped the video. I could have just, or I could have stopped the video. I could have just listened to the part of my brain that says, hey, there's something on my body that is worth paying attention to. There's an irritation that suggests that something on something is attacking the body to some extent, and you should do something about it. That's what itching is, basically. And that's what pain is too. Pain is the body saying like, hey, something is damaging me right now, and the functionality of this thing is at stake, and the functionality of this thing is also like an important part of you surviving in the environment that you are designed for. So yeah, you should really pay attention to this, because if you don't, you're so owned. That's pretty much what pain is. It's telling you that something is wrong. Maybe you have shitty running form and you get shin splints. Then your body's telling you like, hey, like, run better. Skill issue, basically. you know, you know, your skill issue is a threat to yourself and potentially others, basically. um, so yeah, it places you outside of that sensation, and you're able to look at it, like you're able to walk around its perimeter, basically. And through this, there's so many benefits. Like, I think specifically to compulsive, like the meditation study that talks about like compulsive smokers who like just smoke all the time. They asked them to like think about like how it tastes and like the sensation of them putting it in their mouth and all of that. Like, and that's why they quit smoking. They quit smoking because they started to realize that, hey, this thing is actually a lot less pleasant than it is. It's a lot more unpleasant than it is like pleasant. Like, this thing actually takes away from my life rather than adds to it. It adds like an element of grossness that shouldn't be there. Part of why I don't like milk. You know what I mean? Like, I drink it, or when I did drink it, I guess, like, there's this slimy feeling in the back of my throat, which was probably due to the creamy texture of milk, and how it's full of like fats and stuff, and probably mixes in with like the saliva and the mucus in your throat, and that increases the viscosity of it, and then like you're sensing that more intently as it goes down. But that's just a little theory I cooked up on the spot. But anyways, so yeah. And I think also that, like, I was thinking about the whole like idea of irony, and it's because in irony and sarcasm, in a sense, place you outside of it, and placing you outside of something kind of gives you power over it, which is why it can be very satisfying to engage in these things. It's why it feels so good. I'm like, hey yo, I'm outside of this thing and it feels pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm outside of the illusion of, religion. I'm outside of the illusion of this thing, and I'm laughing at it because I'm looking at it from the outside in. I'm looking at it from the top of the dome. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there's an imaginary sky, man. Like, obviously that's like that's like a top-down view, but if you were inside of that, it wouldn't be an imaginary sky, man. If you're inside of that religion bubble, that's not an imaginary sky, man. And as far as and I think that, like, for me personally, I've had a problem with sarcastic people because, like, I see that, like, they think that they're outside of a bubble, and in my mind, it's like they're inside of a bubble, you know. There's, to my mind, I dislike the idea. There's another thing that really the real thing that kind of gets me is that, like, I think the real reason why I was mad at sarcastic and like particularly carefree people who like push you away when you're trying to be serious is like, I feel like there's a level of like I take what people say pretty seriously, right? Like that's a habit of mine. And I think that, like, you know, there's definitely value in that, but you know, seeing that carefreeness is like, it's sort of opposed to that. It's opposed to this, to the seriousness and the credence that I give others. And I think there's a part of me that might feel powerless against that, and thus that anger reflects back to me. But thoughts on that aside, yeah, that's like, but also at the same time, like, you know, sarcastic people are also being outside of some bubbles can put you inside of another bubble, and so I guess identifying with the idea of being outside of a bubble is itself a bubble, and thus it's like, you know, it doesn't make any damn sense. So yeah, we're all in fucking bubbles and shit, and being aware of something can put you outside of whatever bubble that you're, whatever bubbles that you're in, basically, and allow you to see them from the top down. And through that, you're better able to navigate those situations. It's like, imagine trying to walk through a maze, like in a first person view versus like a zoomed out third person view. Yeah, sure, the maze is kind of hard, but like the maze is a lot harder when you can't see, or when it's not in context of the rest of the maze. When the amount of context you have for the maze and your position in it is too small. You're basically in one state you're wandering, and in the other state you're sort of like, you have an idea of where to go, even if you have a harder time navigating it, you have a better idea of where to go. So that's like the real power of awareness. And it also gives you a lot more freedom over how you decide to navigate through that set of circumstances. So like, I was thinking about this for a second, and I was like, I don't want to talk about other people's I wanted to talk about other people's problems, but I don't know shit about other people's problems. I kind of don't want to look like I'm being arrogant or something. So I'm going to say it like this, or I'm going to use my own problem instead. Or I'm going to use a situation of my own instead. Let's say, well, I came into work at this place called GNR. You might have recognized me in another video about agnostic optimism, the first video of it. I was actually walking to that job for the first time, and going there, I was constantly aware of the long working hours, and there was a part of me that dreaded it, but like, I knew that I didn't really have any other choice. So like, there's another part of my mind that was like, hell yeah, let's go, because that's also kind of like the vibe at that time. I was like, hell yeah, let's go to anything that was difficult, anything that was challenging, right? I knew it was challenging, I knew it was going to be difficult. Hell yeah, let's go. Really liking the lumens out here. So many lumens, so many tens of thousands of lumens. I can see my face so clearly. and the occlusion, and the ambient occlusion is more relative to more relative to the hue of the object. Anyways, me being a fucking weirdo aside, uh, like I went to this place. I was fully aware of the challenge. I was fully aware of the hours, and I think in a way that really helped me. That helped me that deal with working those insanely long hours. It was 56 hours a week, Monday to Saturday, fucking 6 a.m. to like 4 p.m. And it took me like an hour to get there and an hour to get back. And I was walking the whole time. And there was like, I knew I had to do it. I accepted what it was and I did it. And it worked out really well for me at the time. Um, Wow, that's a moment where it worked out well for me. I was hoping to like look back at that. My goal with that was to look back at that and to basically, oh shit, it fell. Uh my goal was to look back at that moment and be like, "Hey yo, uh yeah, it was hard as fuck, but I should have known that coming. If I knew that coming in, it wouldn't be that bad." Basically. And if I just accepted that, like, hey, look, here's where I am, like this is what it is. I think that a lack of awareness is responsible for the generation of negative emotions. So like sometimes I worry that like if I go too deep with some of this stuff, I'm gonna lose like my humanity, if that makes sense. Jeez. Anyways, that aside, um, anyways, I fucking zoned out for a second because I was zooming out too much. Um, I need to get grounded, 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 grounded. I'm grounded, I'm grounded, I'm grounded. Okay. Focusing my intention, becoming aware of being grounded. I'm aware of my floatiness coming back down. We're being grounded again. But anyways, so yeah, like that's the topic. That's basically how it works. Being aware of it makes it easier to navigate, and it reduces the confusion that is involved in that, and it gets you from point A to point B. God, I'm really, I'm really getting in it though. My head. I'm smoking on copium right now. But anyways, that's all I had for you today. Okay. So, long story short, awareness is a powerful thing. It's very good, but there may be some things that you feel very unprepared to handle as well. Um, and to that I say, yeah, do what I was trying to do back there and try to ground yourself. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm navigating it again now. I'm navigating it again. But yeah, like, you know, grounding yourself, refocusing your intentions, and recognizing things as they come up. And like you can only really do that with awareness. Anyways, and and the best way to gain awareness is to meditate. Uh, to you gotta meditate to recognize your body and to become aware of it and to develop that to develop a relationship with it. basically. And I think that's actually like the core of it. Um, and through this, you can detach and you become above it. You become above the thing that you're doing. It's why irony feels good and sarcasm feels good because it's just being above whatever you were uh, being sarcastic about. However, you got to be careful when you do that because being sarcastic and being ironic all the time actually just puts you in another bubble. Well, I was thinking about that for a second and I was like, wait, hold on, is that really true? You know, and that bubble might not be the right bubble. That bubble might not be a good bubble for you. It might be, well, that is invalidating. Because, like, I was thinking about that and I was like, you know what? That's the bubble that they want to be in. So not only is it actually the bubble that they want to be in, but it is because even if they do recognize that like being in that bubble is wrong, you know, they wanted to be in that bubble so that they could figure out that it was wrong, so that they could find out what they do want anyways. But you know, so I mean that taught me something about judgment too. Anyways, we learn shit all the time here, you know. When you're tapped in, it just fucking starts flying into you, you know, fucking max speed. And you know what? Sometimes it's flying a little too fast. Sometimes it's like a baseball. It's flying really fast and it's you in the damn face, and you're like, what the fuck? You know, it knocks your soul out of your body. Oh my god. But anyways, that's all I had to say for today. Bars. Peace, motherfuckers. Peace.